What are those glasses? Those are terrifying.
I'm a goat. Duh.
Damn, now I'm sad that I didn't dress up. Oh, I could put a wig on.
Did I
These are
leave
yours.
those? Yeah, I feel like those
These-
were from the Gaga concert.
These horns I just discovered in the kids' toy box a couple days ago, and I was like, "Oh, I could make that into a costume."
That looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you notice the goatee?
No.
It's subtle, but it is
Wait,
there.
you look like if
No.
the Jigsaw guy from Saw was a goat.
I don't even
You-
get that reference, but
Yeah, you think
Wow.
Devin was watching the Saw movies growing up?
definitely not.
Well, happy almost Halloween.
Spooky season. When we were kids, what was your favorite Halloween costume?
The first one, I think I was 6. And I remember I told Dad, well, first of all, I'm going to preface this for anyone that's listening. Our parents never allowed us to buy costumes. So
Ever.
everything had to be homemade. I was always so jealous of the people that like got to go to Party City and spend $75 on a costume. I was like, that is insane. But anyway, I asked Dad, I said I want to be a devil. And so he took a old trucker hat, painted the whole, do you guys remember this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like painted it red, cut off the actual bill of the hat, and then paper like mached horns, and then made me like an actual trident. And I remember I wore like my red sweatsuit with the hat and the trident, and I was serving drag queen realness at the age of 6.
Yeah, that was, I think, your gayest Halloween costume. Like, you gave sass with that thing. You were like, I'm gonna poke you.
It was scary.
'cause it was like a pitchfork made of plywood.
Yeah.
Nick, what about you?
Yeah, what's yours?
I would have to say the TV. When Dad made me a box with antenna, and I was inside of the TV, and it was also huge, so it was like one of those things when you move around, but if I fell over, I like literally couldn't get back up. Someone had to help me over it because I was just a giant box.
Yeah, you had the analog antennas and everything on that.
Yeah.
Dev, what was your favorite?
I was trying to think. Most of my dress up years were when we lived in New Hampshire, and it was probably 30 degrees on Halloween. So whatever costume I had on,
Maybe you could put a
was
jacket
covered.
over.
Yeah, it was like I had a thick winter parka over it, so it didn't really matter. But I did have this one random memory when I was trying to think about costumes, which was, I was probably about 6, because Nick, I don't even think you were born yet. And I was trick-or-treating with some of our cousins one year, and there was a guy who didn't answer his door. And Dad loves to tell this story. Apparently, I was knocking on the door and I said, "Hey, mister, wake up and smell the coffee." Like a
Wait, why? Because he
sassy ass.
wasn't answering?
Yeah, because like I thought someone was home and they weren't answering, so I was just harassing them verbally as a 6-year-old.
That sounds
Wait,
right.
Nick, what did you say to that video woman? The Blockbuster kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, no,
Oh
that
my
was boring.
god. I said, "Hey lady, you got a big butt." She was being dismissive to me, and I just was like, "Hey lady, you got a big butt." And she turned around and she said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "You heard me. You got a big butt." And Mom was there, and she literally walked to the back of the store, was like, "That's not my child. I don't know whose child that is."
Yeah, that
Oh,
was at
that's
like the local VHS rental place.
I think we rented Hocus Pocus no less than 85 times. I don't know why we didn't buy the movie.
Every other week, we were renting Hocus Pocus. Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?
Just lucky, I guess.
You kind of look like if Sarah Jessica Parker's character dyed her hair red.
Oh, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
Hi, I'm Dev, the oldest.
I'm Trey, the middle child.
And I'm Nick, the youngest.
Must like boys.
or
Oh, he's already interrupting.
So a couple weeks ago, my kids and their friends were hanging out. It was like a Friday night. They were all running around playing. They like to play this game where they kind of take turns being the scarer and, they'll like hide in a spot and then jump out and scream at each other. So they were doing that. This was going on. They were playing the scare game for like, I don't know, an hour, running around outside, running around inside. And then finally they started to calm down and they were a whole bunch of them hanging out in the basement. And I just got this wild hair of an idea. I was like, okay, if they want to be scared, I'll scare them. And I
Of
went
course.
up into my bin of costumes that I have in my closet. And I grabbed a pair of glowing red eye glasses, like a really ratchet blonde wig. I had just like an oversized black COVID mask. And then I put on this actually was one of Nana's old silk robes. And they were in the basement. And I walked out the front of the house and I walked over to the side where we have like a window you can see from the basement to the side yard. And I started flicking a flashlight on and off, and I could hear them being like, what's that? Like, is there police in the driveway? There's a light flashing." And then two of them peered over to look out the window and were just met with my red glowing eyes, and they
my God,
screamed
Devin.
so
That
loud. It was a
That's
that is my
stampede.
traumatic.
Yeah, that's my worst fear in life is to look out a window and see a
Yes. Yes.
silhouette of a human.
The minute I did it, I knew I went too far. I was like, "Oh my God." As soon as I heard, like, the pitch of those screams, I was like, "Oh, I crossed the line." And then I was like, "It's me, I'm so sorry." And then this was like 9 o'clock at night, I drove to Kroger and I bought them all donuts and bacon for the next morning as an apology because I was like, "I'm so sorry."
They're gonna love that. They're gonna tell that story all the time. It's
That's
great.
good.
I was talking to Alex about the episode. It's a Halloween episode, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's number 9. That's a good Halloween number because nine's a mean number." And he's like, "What do you mean nine's a mean number?" And I'm like, nine's a mean number, eight's a nice number. I didn't realize I've always had this thing where numbers have personalities, and you know how some people have like numbers have colors. It's called
Yeah,
synesthesia, and
yeah.
I wonder if that there's a version where they have personalities. And I looked it up and it's an
Oh.
actual thing. And it's a form of synesthesia. It's called ordinal linguistic personification. And it's where you like almost like personify, you almost like anthropomorphize symbols and stuff. And yeah, it's
Words or
like
just numbers?
numbers. I would say letters a little bit, but mostly numbers. Like 4 always looks up to 5, and 5 and 6 are friends. 7's the redheaded stepchild and always gets in trouble. 7 really likes 9. 8's the straight and narrow, like does everything right by the book.
Is this are
Um,
is this just coming from your head right
I
now? What's
am,
going
Just
on?
I
What's
am,
the riff?
I'm not imagining this. I'm not. It's like I'm recalling an old friend. Like I'm telling you what an old friend's like.
all right, topic.
Okay, mine's like I was gonna do something with the most haunted cities in the country, and then I just kind of went down an entire rabbit hole of like research in history, and I think this podcast might be making me a little stronger. What? Smarter? Because I would never really kind of research things on my own, but it's like as I'm having to, I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like forcing myself into some knowledge, which everyone always needs. Originally, it was what are the most haunted US cities? And that is Savannah, which we've all been on ghost tours
Wait,
in
can we
Savannah,
guess
haven't we?
them?
Yeah, you can guess them.
Because I feel like New Orleans.
New Orleans technically was not on the top 5.
I'm gonna say St. Augustine, Florida.
Hmm,
No,
Charleston,
Charleston is not on there. No.
Oh, Charleston's hella haunted.
right?
I Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of this is subjective, right?
Salem.
So it's Savannah, Georgia, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Richmond, Virginia, and those 3 are all because mostly tied with Civil War ghosts. And then the other 2 are Salem, Massachusetts, obviously because of the Salem witch trials, and then San Antonio, Texas because of the Alamo. So then I really kind of just were thinking, I need to know more about the Battle of the Alamo because no, nothing. I don't know anything at all, and I've been there, and I feel like growing up, the only thing I knew about the Alamo was that Pee Wee Herman talked about it and that there wasn't a
It's in the
basement there.
basement of the Alamo.
No
There's
basement in
no
the
basement
Alamo.
in the Alamo.
So yeah, I want to talk through a little bit of what I learned, but also, do you guys know a history of the Alamo?
Visited the Alamo 11 years ago, and I knew a little bit about it because I was learning when I was there. But I don't know, I've had 2 kids since then, so I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched the movie at one point.
Was there a
Go ahead.
movie about it
Yeah, there was.
with like Mel Gibson or something? Or
Yeah, probably.
That's Braveheart.
so built in 1718 by Spanish friars and settlers, it wasn't known as the Alamo at this time. It was known as the Mission San Antonio de Padua, which sounds like something out of Star Wars. So basically, for the next 75 years, its purpose was to convert local indigenous people to Christianity.
Mm.
At the height of its mission, the house served essentially hundreds of indigenous converts and produced crop, textiles, and leather goods. In 1793, essentially for the next 10 years, it was abandoned. So ChatGPT threw out the term secularization, which I didn't know what that was. Do you guys know what that means?
It's making things more or less religious? Secular means less religious?
So less, yeah. It's essentially the process of transferring control from a religious institution from the church to the civil government.
Oh, like what they had
So
to do with the Mormons in Utah.
yeah, that happened. Friars stopped running it as a mission. All the indigenous converts were released from the church, and in theory, they were supposed to receive land and or property to live on as regular citizens.
Wait,
Um,
released?
I can tell you
Like,
how
they
that
were
were
story
they
ended.
were
I,
they being held against their will?
probably,
Probably.
but that was on the Spanish government side, so potentially one win for the U.S. government. I don't know. But the lands, buildings, and livestock of the mission were turned over to the civil administrators or local settlers. So after 10 years, it basically sat there. And then in 1803, it became the Alamo when Spanish soldiers took over the building. And Alamo means the cottonwood. It was because of the trees in the surrounding area. The next 30 years, it's ruled by Spanish soldiers. And then, after years of unrest, essentially, Texas rebels seized San Antonio at large and the Alamo in 1835. And this is not the battle that people talk about on the US history side. That's just like when we took it over. And then the famous battle was when Spanish tried to retake it over, which I didn't know there were two battles. That happened between 1835 and 1836. So the first battle was the Texans taking it back over from Mexico. That's essentially when Mexico became a localized, like, what's the term when you have many local governments versus a singular government?
I feel like this episode is a
State?
vocabulary quiz and I'm failing.
Basically, the government became centralized in Mexico. They cared less about the Alamo because of the outskirts. And as Texas rebels were encroaching, they took it over house by house. They were knocking on these people's doors and destroying their homes in the process. Ultimate deaths were about 400 people. And then the famous battle was essentially the Spanish side trying to regain control of the Alamo. And in total, about 1,500 people died. Most of them were on the Spanish side.
So is that why it's so haunted? Is because so many.
It's yeah, I mean, it's haunted because large amount of deaths, 2,000 plus people. And then I will end on there's two main ghost stories there. One, the ghost soldiers of the ramparts. So in 1836 battle, witnesses including
Oh, what
Mexican
parts?
ramparts.
That was me being a ram, but I'm a goat, so never mind.
God, I thought you were kind of stroking out for a minute.
What is a rampart?
Parts of a castle, right? Like the walls of a castle, I think.
Oh.
That makes sense. But yes, essentially after 1836 battle, the witnesses, including Mexican soldiers, ordered to demolish the site, but they claimed to see apparitions of ghostly men standing guard along the old
Oh.
mission walls.
That's scary.
Oh.
And then the other one is The Woman in Gray. So it's a spectral woman in a long gray dress seen moving silently through the old chapel. And theories differ, but basically some say that she was a nun from the mission period. Others say that she's a Mexican nurse who cared for the wounded and still tends to the dead this day.
Ooh,
Do you guys believe in ghosts?
of
Yes,
course.
of course.
Because like when I talked about Alex with this, he's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "No, it's definitely a thing." Like I'm not like bringing out the Ouija board, but I'm like, it could be a thing.
I think the same people believe in ghosts versus aliens. I feel like it's all kind of the same people. You either choose the magic in life or you don't choose at all. All right, Dev. What's yours?
My topic? Let's see if I can read with these glasses. So, I know this is supposed to be a Halloween episode,
Well, we've already talked
but
about the Alamo, so go for it.
so my topic is fear. Y'all know I don't do scary movies. I don't like being scared at all, which is also why it's super mean of me that I did jump scare my kids. But there's a British psychologist, a culture coach, and an author. Her name is Dr. Pippa Grange, and she wrote a book called Fear Less: How to Win at Life Without Losing Yourself. And she says that there's two big fears that drive humans. Do you want to guess what those two fears are?
Oh, it's the fear of heights.
I think no, those are the natural fears. So the two
Oh,
natural
those are the ones
fears you
you.
have are fear of heights and fear of loud noises. But that's not what you
Yes.
just
Correct.
told
Okay.
Yeah,
me.
I think that's like those are like
Okay.
fears that an infant's born
But
with or
Okay.
whatever.
okay,
I'm
you're
gonna read
saying fear of, I would say fear of dying.
Yep. Fear of death
and
is number one.
fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Oh my God. This podcast is making you smarter.
Thank you.
I can't believe you just guessed that. Yeah. So Dr. Grange's book, which I have, wow, I just almost ate that microphone. Sorry.
I mean, goats eat everything.
It's true. It is true. Okay, Dr. Grange talks about those two big fears are fear of death and the fear of abandonment. She equates to fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But it's also interesting to me because if you think about those two, they almost have like the same root, right? Because like humans are pack animals and we need community. And prehistoric times, if you were abandoned, you would die, right? Like the likelihood,
Yeah,
if you
that's what
got
I would
shunned
know.
from the herd, that abandonment means your chances of survival are pretty slim, right? But, anyways, back to Dr. Grange. There's a quote from her that I think kind of hits the nail on the head a little 'cause she does a lot of work with sports teams, like international soccer teams and stuff like that. She said, "The real win is not the trophy or the title, it's being free from the fear that you're not enough." She also talks about that fear of abandonment often showing up as perfectionism, people pleasing, and overachievement. So pop that in the toaster for a minute.
So basically, you're saying like all of our overachieving is just to stop the fear of abandonment. It's like
Yeah.
imposter syndrome too. I feel like somehow ties into that because you always think you're not good
Yeah.
enough, so you're always trying to strive to prove to yourself, prove to others that you are worthy, so that you don't get abandoned.
Right. Yeah,
I think from like
exactly.
a vain level, like I think a lot of people care about their personal appearance because they want to feel like they're still being seen. And if they're not seen, then it's also a fear of abandonment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true.
Yeah, wanting to be desired, right?
Yeah.
Then there's another aspect to it, which is fear as a motivator, because she works with a lot of high performance cultures like sports teams or businesses, and is talking about that tendency to leverage fear as a motivator. And she's like, we need to stop doing that because fear drives performance, but at a cost. She says
Mm.
fear is a lazy tool for motivation. There are some advantages to using fear as a motivator, but there's many more downsides, which is it puts you in that anxiety state where it's harder to be present, harder to be focused, and harder to have courage when you have that anxiety kicking around, which I also thought was really
That's
interesting
I
and could
mean,
relate
and
to.
then that's like basically causing burnout, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. While this can create short term success, it leads to long-term burnout, anxiety, and loss of joy.
They say like motivating people, giving someone a raise is it doesn't last, it doesn't actually work. It's really appreciation that works. Like appreciating someone's
Mhm.
work, acknowledging someone and appreciating them, so much more effective than trying to scare them into something like you're going to lose your job if you don't,
Yeah.
positive
Oh
reinforcement.
my god. When I had my corporate job, I preached that for years and years of like there would be surveys that they were asking like, "Are you happy with the promotion process?" And I was like, "It's not just about promotions, it's also about do people feel appreciated? Do they feel like there's actual genuine appreciation and gratitude?" Which is a much more human side of it, I think, and that never went addressed.
Of course not.
Yeah.
You have a company with 200,000 people you think they were caring?
Now, this woman who I keep quoting, Dr. Pippa Grange, she came on my radar a few years ago. There's a good episode where Brene Brown interviews her. And there was a quote from that podcast that I ended up writing down, had on my desk for years, which is your results are just an outcome. They are not your worth.
I love that.
Yeah. And that idea of realizing you're not a label and your performance is not tied to your worth was something that was huge for me. This is a kind of a tangent, so we can cut it if it's long, but probably like 4 years ago at work, I was up for promotion and I didn't get it. And of course, then there's a whole feeling of rejection that comes with that, right? Of like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. And then I ended up following that working pretty intensely with a career coach for like 3 or 6 months. And she was probably the most hardcore therapist that I have ever worked with because she really forced me to look in the mirror and not back down from things and not shy away from parts that I didn't want to dig into.
Like, what did that look like?
Just really pushing me on like the way I viewed myself, like
Yeah.
what my
Okay.
self image was, how I saw myself, and whether or not that was true.
Send me her email.
Yeah. She was fabulous. It was a lot of deep reflection on my view of myself,
Yeah.
and my self-worth was part of it too. And
Yeah.
so the hugely ironic part of that was that half a year later, when I ended up actually getting a promotion, I realized like it just didn't matter that much to me anymore because the work I did with her on identifying and finding my own self-worth that was totally separate from that external validation was so much more impactful in the long run that by the time I did
Yeah.
get that external validation of like, congratulations, here's your director promotion, I was like, okay, like,
You didn't need it.
sure, it's nice you can give me the extra money, but I gained so much more from that experience of working with her.
Yeah, because if you got it at the time, short-term successes like that, happiness only lasts like about 3 months. And then you're back to
Yeah.
square one thinking, back to the same, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm this and that, imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and there's also research that shows like athletes, Olympic athletes, sometimes after they achieve the thing that they've been training for, then they fall into a depression or they kind of fall off the wagon because it's just like, oh, I got this thing that is supposed to make me happy, but it's not making
Yep.
me happy. Like now what? And kind of
Artists
like
do that
lack.
too after like big shows that they have. They just have like a deep depression and just like cry it out.
Yeah.
My browser also might crash, forewarning.
Oh no.
Why?
This computer's old and it doesn't have a lot of RAM to run applications and everything else is
A lot of what?
closed. Oh, that was good.
Oh, that was
I was gonna say we could cut that part, but that was perfect.
Okay, so my topic is horror movies. I made up a little game, and I know, Devin, you are not very well versed in horror movies, so I'm gonna read out some synopsises of horror movies, and y'all are gonna have to guess if they are real or made up.
Synopses or synopsi or
S-
synopsises?
I, Trey, can we get the origin of the word?
I think it's synopsis.
I
Synopsises?
think it depends on if
Synopsis.
it's Latin or else. I
Okay.
don't know.
Moving on.
Synopsize?
So we have to guess if it's real or
Yeah.
fake.
You have to guess if this is real or made up by me with the help of ChatGPT.
Okay.
Okay. First one is A stressed out man discovers his intestinal polyp has developed into a monster that escapes through his butthole and kills those seemingly responsible for his unsatisfying life.
Okay, that's fake.
If it's not fake, send me the name of the movie. I'm watching it tonight.
Well, you're gonna be very happy tonight because it is real. It is called Bad Milo, and it was a 2013 movie.
What did it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't have that information. I don't know. Go watch it.
You knew I
Don't
was gonna ask
have
these.
your own opinions. Don't
Oh my
don't
god.
be a sheep.
Be a ram.
Okay, the next one is a demonic toaster starts burning faces of the soon to be departed into the toast. Is it coincidence or causation?
That's fake.
Is it the Brave Little Toaster?
It's the brave little toaster all grown up.
Yeah, it's fake.
It is fake, but
Thank
the
God.
name that ChatGPT came up with this was brilliant. Toastergeist.
Jesus.
That's good.
Next one is when a college student adopts an adorable sloth to boost her social media following. She doesn't realize that the slow moving creature has a deadly streak and a taste for blood.
It's an
That's fake.
Australian horror film. It's real.
Evan?
Fake.
It is real. Slaughterhouse 2023.
Slaughterhouse?
Slaughterhouse.
Oh my god.
Right.
I would also like to say that I'm 3-0 right now, and Devin's 0-3.
Oh, yeah, we should be keeping. Okay, you keep the tally. The next one is mutant slugs feast on the residents of a small town after toxic waste seeps into the sewers, unleashing a slimy massacre that only a desperate health inspector can stop.
I'm gonna just say true.
I'm gonna say false.
Oh, Trey going wrong. It is real. Slugs,
Oh,
1988.
Oh my god.
That
This makes
one
me
is a
feel
throwback.
this makes me feel like any one of us could write and produce a movie.
Oh,
Like
oh my
if
god.
these are real movies, there's no.
Next one. At a trendy farm to table restaurant, patrons realize too late that the chef's secret ingredient isn't locally sourced. It's them.
It's real. It's the
Real.
chef, or what's the name of that movie?
The menu.
Real.
Oh, the
We
menu.
got a real Trey. Real?
Real, yeah.
It is fake. We
What?
are what we
No.
eat. The menu, they don't eat the people. They just like
Oh,
kill all the rich people, I think, at the end. Oops,
okay.
spoiler alert. It's a good movie.
Isn't
Go watch
there
it.
God, I can't stop eating this microphone today.
Is it the
Uh,
glasses?
isn't there I think it's fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, that book slash movie. I think it's like they need to get rid of a body and he goes in the chili batch or something,
I think a
right?
lot of movies are like that. Honestly, ChatGPT just probably amalgamated those movies and made one
Yeah.
up.
Trey's face, are you okay?
Yeah, well, now I'm thinking I think we should really write a good horror movie that it's like the menu, but they do end up eating them.
No, not interested in cannibalism.
I mean,
Some
if it's
people are.
ethically sourced, you know?
Oh my god.
I agree.
Only if the humans never ate microplastics.
Exactly. Okay, the next one. When a vegan influencer accidentally
Oh,
unleashes a
dog.
government experiment to make self shearing sheep, the wool starts growing inward. Now the sheep are angry, itchy, and out for blood.
That's fake.
That's got to be fake.
It is fake. Sheepocalypse.
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 Jeez Louise.
All right. The next one. New parents purchase a one of a kind coffee table, only to discover it's cursed with catastrophic bad luck. Chaos ensues when their newborn is accidentally dropped on the table, slicing the baby's head clean off.
Fake.
Fake.
Guys, that one's real. It's real as they
What?
come. The movie is called The Coffee Table. It's a Spanish movie. It came out in
I love
2022.
I
Okay.
love that all of ChatGPT's titles are far more clever than the actual titles.
I know the toaster guys.
For horror movies, scary movies, whatever, I cannot watch anything, but I have no problem listening to, like, true crime podcasts that are, like, horrific. So I don't know what that says about my brain.
I mean, you're not literally watching a skull being bashed open. You're just kind
That's
of
true.
hearing about the incident in general. Like, I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, because that
Yeah.
like, it's very seeing it for me is very different than just,
Yeah.
like, hearing.
But I
I
think a lot of
I
people like the murder podcast, it comforts them because it lets them think like, oh, this is all of the options that could happen to you. Now you can be a little bit more prepared. Like I think it gives people a sense of control.
maybe.
Oh, is that my problem?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my
I
gosh,
went in
so, like, if there was a Venn diagram of control freaks and people who listen to true crime, is that, like it's actually
Like the
just one
same
circle?
circle.
It's oh my god, I think you're onto something.
And now moving on to unsolicited advice.
Good job.
we're taking turns.
Look at us sharing.
My unsolicited advice came to me a couple hours ago when I was folding laundry. I splurged today and I went shopping, and I don't ever really go like out with the intention of like I'm gonna shop. And I ended up getting a 3-pack of underwear from Skims. And if you Skims is Kim Kardashian's brand. Do you guys know it?
Isn't it like
No.
just fancy Spanx?
Kind of, yes. Anyway, I bought a pack. I've had them for months. It's the best underwear I own, and every time they come up in my rotation, I'm so excited that I'm like, "Ah, today's gonna be a good day." Or it's like, I'm not doing anything special that day, so I'll keep my underwear. I'll keep the good ones until I'm, like, feeling like I'm ready to have
I'm I'm gonna ruin this for you. What are they made out of?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, shut up.
What are they made out of? Are they
I'm
plastic?
not answering that question. Anyway,
I'm gonna
this
look it
isn't a
up.
Skip sponsorship, but I realized today when I went to go shop and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy another 3-pack to myself because I deserve 6 pairs of nice underwear and not just 3.
And so now you just have to pick what one day of the week is gonna be your crap day.
Exactly. Well, I have probably about 15, 16 pairs of underwear, but slowly I will just get rid of all the ones that I don't like, which is most of them, and replace them with underwear that I do like.
I have a question. What do you think the shelf life is for underwear?
Someone told me you need to discard your underwear every 6 years,
I
but
have boxers
I
from
keep
middle
my
school.
yeah, I keep my underwear for a really long time.
I mean,
If it's made well,
I've
like
yeah, I have so many that are so old. Okay, my unsolicited advice for this week is before you go trick or treating, if you have kids, make sure you check your neighborhood for registered sex offenders. You can go to the National Sex Offender Public website, which is nsopw.gov, and you can put in your address and you can see all of the registered sex offenders that live in your zip code.
can you see what they're charged for?
Yes,
I think that's the most spookiest section in this web on this episode.
that's what happens when you listen to too much true crime.
Yes, that is definitely yeah. You're sleuthing, aren't you? Are you sleuthing yet?
Oh yeah. I I know where all the registered sex offenders live in my zip code. I know what they're charged for. I've looked them up. I know who their relatives are.
Yeah, are any of them like they took a piss near a park that had a at 3 in the morning and they
That's
got
not a sex offender.
that can be. You can get a can't you because it's public nudity, which is a sex offense. Public indecency.
Well, then I think it would say public nudity as in the charges. It wouldn't say child pornography.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Wait, so how many are there?
I mean, within like a 2-mile radius of my house, I think there's 3. But one seems like he's been recently in incarnated again. Incarnated.
Re
He's been
Reincarnated?
he's been
Incarcerated?
reincarnated. He's been re-incarcerated.
That's scary.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Wait, is it
Parole
for
violation.
child pornography?
His was not, no.
Ugh, I don't wanna talk about this
I
anymore.
don't
This is
either.
now the scariest part, you're right.
This is the really
Yep.
There's now all these, like, because I do social media for a law firm, I'm kinda like, "Keep me up to date with the latest laws in Texas, etcetera," but now they're starting to have harsher and new laws implemented basically about child AI pornography, because now that is
Oh,
a
that's
thing.
horrific.
Yeah.
because technically sometimes it can be considered art and is considered protected under blah blah blah. It's like a weird loopholes.
I hate that.
Nope.
Mm.
We can't talk about this, I'm getting triggered.
So I went to Sydney recently and I went to buy 2 bags of Ruffle chips and it was $24. And I looked at the thing and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, what's wrong with that?" And he's like, "Oh, they're $12 each." And I'm like,
The
"For a
big
bag
bags or
of
the
chips?" It was a big bag, but like it wasn't a family size. So my advice is inflation. Knock it off. Stop it. It's too much. Chips
Stop
should be
inflating.
$2.
Like, what's going on? Is there a potato shortage?
No, it's just they can charge it and people will pay it and
people
yeah,
gotta have their chips.
people gotta have their chips.
I'm eating potato soup tonight, so there's not much of a potato shortage.
After I eat this microphone, I'm gonna go eat some potato chips also.
But also wait, did you say Ruffles? Because no one should be buying
Ruffles.
Ruffles. No, that's where you went wrong.
It was my only option.
Come on, like sour cream and onion Ruffles,
Yeah,
Ew.
loaded baked potato Ruffles,
they had like a sour
I'm
cream
a
and
l
cheddar.
sour
like
cream and cheddar.
Lay's
I'm not.
salt
Mm.
and
I
vinegar.
don't love salt and vinegar. Sorry,
What? You're part
it's
of this
okay.
family?
Sorry.
God,
They're
she's not
okay. They're not the best.
she's out of must like boys.
Trey, I love how much you're stimming with this wig.
I'm really liking you with red hair.
Thank you.
Does that wig have a name, like a Schitt's Creek name?
Yeah.
This is Annie
Mm,
Annie. Oh, good night, Annie.
or
it's too
Cherry.
it's too it's
Cherry.
definitely cherry. It's too slutty for Annie.
The people listening can't
Cherry.
even see me. I'm sorry. I love you guys.
I love you. Peace
Love
out.
Peace
you.
out. Peace out. Mwah.
Peace out. Peace out.
Music by Moer. Editing and design by Trey House.